Well, uh, development. It's no different than the guys that we have on our team. Um, regardless of what position it is. I mean, when you the goal is obviously to get developed, right? I mean, that's the only way. They don't come in ready made. Obviously, more guys are a little bit more mature, a little bit stronger, a little bit more, probably more physical than others. Other guys are just being developed at a different pace, right? Different school, whatever school they come from. And you look at those, those three players you mentioned. It's like across the board, across America, right? I mean, they not only did they get developed, but they also were producing too on their team, and where they actually got great experience at different. Obviously, there's different conferences there. They're all coming from different ones. But it's the development part, and it's no different than one of our guys. Third year player is going to that has the talent and the skill set, and maybe didn't have the right training in the beginning prior to coming here, but then bought into the program and the culture, and they're better players. Yeah, with Jamal, it's different than the other two guys you're talking about, or anybody really. He never played defense. I mean, he was an athletic kid in high school, and was obviously recruited to the school that then chose to be a wide receiver, and they actually made the flip and asked him to go play defense, and he did a great job. Obviously, and that conference was loaded with great players and quarterbacks and receivers that he had went up against, and we saw the athleticism. That's the one thing that you saw, that he can do a lot of things. And then what I just said to you, going to the point that was just said, is that he's not even close to being where, development wise. He's learning the game from a defensive standpoint, but he's got confidence. He's got the ball skills. He's got, like I'm saying, all types of athleticism. Understands leverage. Um, and I think his training as an offensive player, obviously he understands defense too. He knows how he's going to be attacked, and those are really good qualities to have when you get moved over. And he plays. Obviously, he's going against a position that he's lined up against. So it's a great combination. But he is nowhere near. You can see it. He played a lot of match, a lot of man, where he came from. So, we're very multiple on defense, and getting to learn all the different types of zone coverages. That's a challenge for him, but he's doing a good job in the first seven. This is the seventh practice, and had a really good scrimmage. Yeah, I mean, he's ahead of what he was last year. Yeah, last year at this time. Obviously, he's still developing. There's flashes of Christian obviously making plays, and then and there's the mistakes that he needs to clean up. Uh, but he's definitely further ahead than he was last year at this time, and continue. He's still developing. We like for him to be a little bit more consistent, like a lot of the guys. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again? We got an athletic group, team that's really fast. They're young, they're inexperienced, but they have a great attitude of the effort part, the preparation. They've done a great job of preparing for spring ball. We had obviously the majority of them, um, since December. Obviously, Caleb joined us. Beasley joined us just a couple of weeks ago, and and for the most part, we have everybody in. So, but it's the athleticism, it's the speed. We just got to continue to grow and mature as an inexperienced group, with a couple of mixed with a couple of veterans, like Tarentine and Jordan Thomas.
to mention a few. Obviously, we have Will Brooks, and there's a couple other guys, but hanging on them as far as helping them speed up the process.
Willie, when you look at improved athleticism, but not nearly as much experience, where's the balance in letting guys go play and not putting too much on them versus being really multiple in everything that you have to do in college football? How do you balance that?
Yeah, that's a great question. You want to let them play, right? I mean, you definitely don't want to make complicated. We don't think we're complicated on defense, especially if you're on the edges, whether you're a corner. The safeties have a little bit more on their plate where they got to make all the checks. And I guess I'm speaking about, somebody like Jacoby. He's had to learn the system, but he does have the experience. He's coming from somewhere who is well coached and a good program, and you can see that now. Practice 7 now, where he actually is catching on. The calls mean the same to him. He's just kind of transferring that over from the terminology. But you want you want the talent level. You want you do want the athleticism. You want guys that are playmakers. You just got to make sure that you don't overload them, like you're saying. And I think we're doing that for the most part. And again, it's still going to be about how fast you play. You want them to play fast. Obviously, you don't want them to sit there and think like they're processing through the whole process. But I think they've done a really good job. It's not like, we have a lot of time with them. We've had it since December, and not with the guys you guys mentioned, but we did get them in January. And they've done, for the most part, they've really handled the package pretty good. We actually threw some more at them today, and there wasn't that many busts at all. And to come off the break that we had, I think that was pretty impressive.
Willie, with Ricky Gibson, what's the biggest jump he's made from being a freshman to now being a sophomore and looking to take on a bigger role?
He's a lot more confident. He's smart, but he's more comfortable in the package itself. He knows what his strengths are, and he knows the things he needs to work on. And if he can work on the things that are weak right now in his game, not helping you guys out by sharing that across the board, but just his attention to detail is there. He's continued. He's still developing. But more confident. I would say that he's very confident. He sees those guys, whether it's Dante or Squirrel, and he's excited to go line up against them and do what he does best, and that's play man coverage and he does a good job in the zone coverages too. But knowing the package, feels more comfortable, understands really what the expectations and standards are, and he's kind of like being a really good leader.
Billy, what have been your early impressions of Boot Carter? And just, obviously you guys knew the athleticism and everything. Yeah. Has that been what you thought, and what's kind of the biggest challenge for him early on? Yeah,
the challenge is to learn everything for Boo. Boo is explosive. Boo, you put him in any kind of drill, and he's going to show up. He's so athletic. He's quick. He's got great instincts. It's just a part of putting it all together in the package. Learning it and being consistent. And again, he has really done some nice job. The last couple practices, he's really kind of slowed down for him. You can see it. He obviously, when he plays the star position, he is getting us lined up better than he did in the first couple of practices, and he understands now how the tempo is. He hasn't really panicked, but he's a very competitive player. Wants to win on every play. That's what you love about it. It's just trying to slow the process down for him as far as where it's not happening too fast for him. It was early, but I think he's really doing a really nice job the last couple of practices.
What are your early impressions of Jalen McMurray coming from, a smaller school like Temple and really adjusting to an SEC program like Tennessee? Yeah,
he's been, out of the new guys, the most consistent player, meaning where he's making production every day. You can see it. He's got great instincts. He's smart. He actually knows the plays before the plays are being run. It's kind of like he has that knack about him, and he's been the most consistent player, each day. So it's really great to see because we needed that competition, and which helps those other young guys that are developing and see that we've brought some guys in here to compete for a starting job, and he's doing a great job.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Happy belated Easter.